In this video is to cover the authenticity as well as the loopholes and major gaps of the ministry of Straitway. First and foremost, of StraitwayTruthMinistry, the name. You can look on the internet. There are many places that have the name Straitway in them, including a business, finance, as well as other churches. Yes, I said it correct. Not so-called ministries, but churches. So that statement by CharlesDowell, it doesn't check out for what he said, how he got the name of Straitway Truth Ministry. Second is the Hebrew salute. That arm pump that you see him do and teach people to do. If you do your research on the internet and get some books, it will greatly contrast that for sure. Showing that there's no good intentions to do that arm pump anymore. And if you got that spirit, that habit that's making you do that, you need to get set free from that Messianic spirit in the name of Jesus. 3 is the layout. As mentioned, the government knows just about every square inch of each homestead, so even the hub is compromised as so-called private property. Therefore, when things hit the fan, the government can come in and demand as well as take what they want, should that land be allowed to be in the hands of CharlesDowell or anyone else after him, of course. Number 4 is logistics. You need plenty of food to grow, raise, as well as water, structures, substance, and materials. You can go to the hub, visit for yourself, and get the report of those who've actually checked out the land for themselves. As a result, even though they talk about preparing for a shift, as well as things getting tough, they don't have enough resources on that 100 acres of land there. At the hub at least, and then you have the other communities as well too. They don't have enough land, stuff on their lands either, to sustain themselves as well either, when things were to change all of a sudden. For example, you would need dozens to hundreds of cows to raise on one of the lands to feed at least 100 people yearly. And we're talking about maybe 64 days at least of fasting, of not eating, and the 300 possible days of someone who can eat. So if a grown average person needs about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds at least of meat, you times it by 2, that's 600 on that range of the upper limit. And that's before you talk about the people who need to keep their big, strong size of muscles. We're looking to squeeze around the 600 to 700 range of pounds of meat per year. And that's before you mention rice and beans. You will need thousands on top of thousands of pounds of rice and beans. Canned goods, you will need thousands of feet to store all these goods, and thousands of cubic feet of structure above ground as well as beneath ground to cover all these resources. To sustain X amount of people, even 100 over years. And then that land has to be filled with fruits and vegetables, with animals being butchered, as well as birthed year after year, whenever people can't depend on the system anymore. And the way that Straitway Truth Ministry is going, from the hub down to the rest of them, that's not going to work out. You're going to have to get yourself a ledger ticket. And that's if you're keeping the faith too. Number 5 is the doctrine. One of the dead giveaways is you can go to the ministry website, learn about the red booklet, and find out from there some of the doctrine of Straitway is based off the word for word verbatim of Win Worley. So you can go listen to the videos of how Win Worley teaches, and some of the things that CharlesDowell will say, he copycats and just copies and pastes word for word in some cases, and even how he talks to. And there's other people out there too, to where he copies so that when he speaks, people think he's legitimate, authentic. And of course, we can't forget the doctrine of R.G. Stair, as well as some of the flavor of Jim Jones. You have truth mixed with the devil, the works of the devil. It will not go well. Number 6 is community. Now this is a dead giveaway. If you have a massive failure rate and it's to keep people in slavery and to use them up for money, labor, and skills, and let's not forget human trafficking, you have a whole lot of legal trouble. And if CharlesDowell gets desperate, if the Most High doesn't intervene, some of you just might have to drink the Kool-Aid, you know? Because I'm pretty sure CharlesDowell himself will not drink his Kool-Aid. He's a very skilled man in what he does, and he's definitely not influenced of certain spirits, right? You believe everything that comes out of his mouth, right? Come on, man. And let's not forget, when you have a ministry that's a 501c title to receive government tax relief, that's not good, especially if you're claiming to be the real deal. It's a double whammy, a double no. See, in that case, if your institution or your ministry with all the assets of it, including the land, is an obligation to the government at some level, even the Catholic Church, they can come in and take it, especially if they raise their own private army and bring forth the revitalized Spanish Inquisition. Oh boy, the Spanish is coming, the Spanish is coming. How great. Those of you who are keeping the faith and still in those lands, you may want to get clear. You just got played. All those years of your time being there. Yes, I know it's hard to receive, hear, process, and understand. You can go look on the internet, see for yourself. You've been played. Get out of there, get back into faith, get back on the right track with the Most High, and it should go well with you. Also, not forgetting those who are going to maybe join Straitway. Get clear of that. You'll get in a whole lot of legal trouble and worse.